Hey guys, before I start this battle, I just want to remind you of the Showdown tournament taking place in my stream on Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard. It's just a few days away. The announcement and the rules are in the description. If you're interested in coming to that, I just wanted to remind you guys, since it is only a few days away, that that's a thing. Anyway, I have a battle here against vb541, I believe, and yeah, this was a battle from my Twitch stream, so yeah, it was a really good one, so I decided to post it. Anyway, so I lead with Thunderous as he leads with Ferrothorn, and I'm just going to taunt it so it can't set up or anything, and turns out to be a pretty good move. He does try to go for a Stealth Rock, and that is a kind of a toolbox Landorus. It has Prankster. I kind of like it a lot, so yeah, I would just giving it a try here. Alright, so I go into Arcanine, which is a Pokemon that one of the stream viewers requested I use for this battle, and I decided to go ahead and do it. This is a bulky Arcanine that I also like a lot. Anyway, so he goes to the Gyro Ball. Obviously, it's not going to do much, and he's going to have to just retreat, because he's not going to want to take anything from my Arcanine. As he goes out into a Mew, I just go for a Will-O-Wisp. Mews are usually special, so it's not really going to hurt him that much, except for the residual damage. But fortunately for me, due to the fact that fire types cannot be burned in Gen 6, or any other gen, I think, yeah, I'm not going to be able to, he's not able to synchronize the burn onto me. So I go into Yanmega here, which is another Pokemon I kind of wanted to try out in this gen, and I think I actually made a big mistake when I made this team. I didn't actually make it with a Defogger or a Stealth Rocker and, a Rapid Spinner. And yeah, so if he would have gotten that Stealth Rock off earlier, Yanmega would have not been able to come in. So he switches out now, and I just go for the Protect because I'm dumb, and I'm going to go for the Air Slash, hoping for the, because at this point I know he's going to just try to set up Stealth Rocks, and I'm not going to be able to send in Yanmega again. So I know that I just kind of have to waste its potential here against Ferrothorn. I know I'm not going to be able to do that much, but I'll do as much as I can. I switch to Bug Buzz because it's slightly stronger, and can also lower special defense. And yeah, as you can see, it is slightly stronger. I might be able to kill next turn if I go for it again. So he just goes for a Stealth Rocks, and yeah, now I'm pretty much have to be committed with Yanmega here, because I really have no choice. So I think I actually doubt the fact that I can kill it with Bug Buzz, so I go for the Air Slash hoping to get the flinch. I probably should have just went for another Bug Buzz and hoped to kill, but whatever. He's just going to go for the Gyro Ball and take me out, and yeah, that sucks. But at the very least, his Ferrothorn is in killing range. It's slow as crap and doesn't have reliable recovery anyway. So yeah, obviously I can just revenge kill it with whatever I want. So I go out into my Gliscor, and he's going to actually switch out here. I guess saving Ferrothorn as death fodder later, maybe. And I'm going to get my own Stealth Rock up, so at least there's that, as he goes out into Altaria. Kind of lucky for him that, well, Ori made a great prediction that I was going to set up Stealth Rocks and wanted to get in the Altaria before it would have to take 25%. And yeah, this is his Mega, so he Mega Evolves into Altaria, and I ended up staying in and going for the Toxic. I kind of want to see what this thing would do. I kind of figured it was obviously going to be his Mega, considering regular Altaria is nothing special. And he goes for the Hyper Voice, so this is actually a special Mega Altaria, which is actually something I, don't see that often in my small experience of Showdown and Gen 6. And yeah, this is came as a bit of a shock to me, but the good news is, I mean, it's special. I can go out into Arcanine. My Arcanine is somewhat of a special tank here, not to mention, actually a tank in general, this set is, and I do resist the Hyper Voice, being that it's being converted to Fairy via his Pixelize ability, and Fire types resist Fairy, which is cool for me. And I do have Morning Sun, so I'm just going to go for that. I don't think he can kill me with anything, and he doesn't even want to stay in, so Alfie goes. But yeah. As you can see, I also got the Toxic Poison off on his Altaria, so that'll limit the amount of turns that he can stay in, which should be good for me. And, yeah, so I go for the Morning Sun. He goes back into Mew. I'm not actually sure how much damage this Mew can do to me, but I'm pretty sure I should be able to heal it off with Morning Sun. But I decided to switch out anyway, because, yeah, raisins. And I go into my Mega, which is Slowbro. I encountered Mega Slowbro in the battle before. You already saw that one, and I wanted to give it a try, and I did have it lying around, so I'm like, why not? I'm going to try it in the very next battle, and here we go. Yeah, so I go into Mega Slowbro, figuring he might go for the Psychic, and yeah, he doesn't do anything. He just goes to the Defog to get rid of both of our Stealth Rocks. That is the downside of Defog as opposed to Rapid Spin, is Defog will get rid of both hazards, so unless he can go back into his Ferrothorn and set up Stealth Rocks again without me killing him, It's going to be a stealth rockless battle, so that's not really a bad place to be for me. Although I did already ruin my Yanyaga. So he goes out into Gengar, and it just gets a burn from Scald, which isn't bad, but I really don't not want to take a Shadow Ball. So I decide to switch out and back into Thundurus. Actually, I'm not really sure why, because Thundurus really doesn't take a Shadow Ball that well either. But yeah, I do that, and Thundurus takes some damage, as the Gengar also takes quite a bit of damage, thanks to the burn and the Life Orb. So here he withdraws. Obviously, he just wants to keep his Gengar around, and he goes back into his Altaria as I go for the Hidden Power Ice, which, yeah, I'm proud to say I did predict that. And that was a pretty awesome prediction on my part, because Hidden Power Ice does some nice chunk damage to Altaria, and he does not want to lose it, so he's going to switch out again into Ferrothorn, which, you know, looking at his HP, you would think that maybe Hidden Power Ice, being neutral, will be able to take it out, but apparently not. It does live. So I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt, which I believe is slightly stronger, despite the resistance, thanks to my stab, and that is going to take out the Ferrothorn, so no Stealth Rocks for you, and this officially becomes, I believe, a Stealth Rockless match. Alright, so he goes back into Mew here, and I just want to see how much damage I can do with Thunderbolt. I'm kind of hoping that I can do a decent amount, that I can out-damage his Roost after the burn, but doesn't look that way. This Mew is definitely incredibly bulky. I always liked bulky Mew. I use it a lot in Gen 5. But this is a nuisance, to say the least. I'm going to switch out, because obviously this is not going to end well for me. I go back into Slowbro because I see that he has Psychic, and if it's bulky Mew, it might be his only attacking move. In fact, I kind of believe it probably is. So I feel kind of safe here, just going out into Slowbro, because I know that he can't really hurt me that much with this Mew. And I can just keep going for the Scald, and he can't crit me either, being that that's Slowbro's ability, or Mega Slowbro's ability, prevents him from being criticaled. So I go for the Scald here, and I really should have predicted this and went for the Ice Beam, because I do have it, but I didn't. And this Altaria is like the one thing that I'm looking at. Okay, this thing can possibly kill my Slowbro, because it is a special Altaria, and Slowbro is a lot better of a physical wall than a special one. Mew is obviously the exception, because I resisted his attack. Anyway, so he's going to go for the Roost. He's going to... Yeah, that's a pretty good play. Just going for the Roost. He thinks I'm going to switch, and yeah, he is rewarded for it. Altaria gets back to pretty good health, and I'm just going to go for a Fire Blitz, just to see how much it would do, really. And it actually doesn't do that much because of the resistance. I still kind of wish it would do a little bit more, since I saw the last battle. Fire Blitz is a pretty damn good move. But I guess I don't have enough attack investment on this Arcanine to make it 100% worth it. Anyway, he's going to have to switch out soon, because the Toxic Poison is starting to rack up, and he doesn't really want to stay in and take even more damage than that. So yeah, he's going to go into a Azumarill, which is something that I knew he had from the beginning, obviously. And I know in the back of my mind this thing could be really dangerous for me, for no other reason than the Aqua Jet would almost certainly kill Arcanine in one hit, so I'm going to have to switch out, obviously. I do not want to risk trying to stay in and burn him with Will-O-Wisp, because, hey, I'm going to die to an Aqua Jet if I do that. I go into Slowbro, because I know Slowbro can take it. He ends up just going for the Waterfall, predicting my switch, wanted to go for a stronger move, and it actually does nothing to Slowbro, as, yeah, obviously. So he goes for the knockoff. He can't actually knock off my item because this is a Mega Stone, and you can't knock off Mega Stones. But he still is super effective, and it does decent damage. Now he switches to Play Rough, hoping it'll do more damage, and he does get me to red, but not quite. And I'm able to get a Slack off, and I'm pretty darn sure that's not doing more than half. And there is no threat of crit here. He cannot crit me, and yeah, that's good for me. He can't crit me because of Slowbro's ability, so I just feel safe, 100% safe, just staying in and healing, because, yeah, even if he can't crit. Although he can lower my attack, not that it matters, because I don't have a physical move on this Slowbro. So I go for the Scald again, as he goes back into Altaria. I really need to stop doing that. I really should have just predicted one of these days the Altaria and just went for the Ice Beam, but whatevs. I'm just going to switch out. I think that I have this Altaria pretty well walled with my Arcanine anyway. I don't think there's a whole lot he can do, except for, heal himself with Roost. So let him do that, and yeah, he's just going to go for the Hyper Voice, and yeah, I resist that, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I still have the Extreme Speed on the Arcanine. It's the only way I can actually outspeed the Azumarill, the Aqua Jet. Obviously, at that point, I was not able to kill the Azumarill, but I'm just going to go for the Extreme Speed now, thinking maybe it'll do more damage than Flare Blitz, probably not. But he ends up going to Talonflame, so this is okay damage to Talonflame. And this is the other thing that I really needed to worry about, because Talonflame's ability allows all flying moves to have a +1 priority, so basically making them a priority move. And yeah, I just go into Gliscor to see what he'd lock himself into. I pretty much was sure it was going to be Brave Bird, and yeah, that is going to take out my weakened Gliscor. So I got into Thundurus here, and I probably played this pretty badly. I do have Prankster, and I was thinking I might be faster than Talonflame. I really should have looked at the base speeds, because I'm not faster than Talonflame, even with both of our moves being priority. Yeah, so I did try to go for the Thunder Wave for some reason, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, it makes absolutely no sense. I should have just hoped that I would live the Braver, which I did anyway, and just went for the Thunderbolt to take it out. But instead, I go for the T-Wave, and that was probably a mistake. Except he actually gets frozen in his paralysis this turn, which allows me to go in Thunderbolt. So, yeah, I would feel bad about that, because, you know, my misplay probably should have cost me there. Anyway, it doesn't, and he goes back into Azumarill, and he can probably kill me with Aqua Jet, so I'm just going to paralyze him. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably a mistake too, because a paralyzed Azumarill, aside from a chance to be frozen as paralysis, it really isn't that bad. I really would have liked to get the burn on this using my Arcanine, but whatevs. Or a burn using Scald, for that matter. That would make that a lot less threatening. He goes back into Mew here against my Slowbro, which is kind of a weird move, because being it's already been established, this Mew really can't do much to me. And I think he goes in just to get off a burn on me, which doesn't hurt my attacks, obviously, because burn only has attack, and my attacks are all special, but I guess it does get residual damage, and at this point, he figures he just needs the residual damage of my Slowbro in order to take it out. Anyway, I am able to take out the Mew now. He probably should have roosted first before trying to burn me, because, yeah, after that Scald, he is dead as he goes back into Gengar. And I'm going to switch out, not wanting to take a Shadow Ball still. I go into Arcanine, and yeah, he's going to go for the Shadow Ball, I believe, and then die to his own burn. But he still ends up doing some pretty decent damage using Shadow Ball to my Arcanine. Actually, more than I thought. Definitely Shadow Ball Life Orb with a Gengar is definitely powerful. But it is dead now, thanks to the residual damage of Burn and Life Orb. Moving on, he goes into Azumarill, which is predictable because he just wants to Aqua Jet me. And I'm going to switch out into Slowbro because that is the Pokemon I have that can take that. But he actually made a pretty damn good double switch here. Overpredicted that and ended up going into Altaria. So now I'm stuck with the question, do I want to risk and staying in and hoping that I can, you know, take a hit from this thing or switch out again? And I chose to switch out again, and I go back into Arcanine, hoping that I can live another Hyper Voice. But at 53 HP, probably not. He does go for the Hyper Voice, and I'm just praying I can live it, and I do not. So, it was a crit, so I guess we really wouldn't know if I would have survived or not. But definitely a good kill there for him. Now, I go to my last Pokemon, Terrakion, and I'm going to lock myself into Earthquake, which will hit Altaria, because it's no longer Flying type. And will pretty much hit everything on his team. And he makes kind of a mistake, another mistake here in my opinion, by going into Azumarill, because he really risked that I went for like the Stone Edge or the Close Combat, which would have killed him. Sorry, not the Close Combat, but the Stone Edge probably would have. But either way, he does get frozen in his paralysis, and I'm able to take it out. And his last Pokemon is Altaria, which will also die to, I believe this is Banded Terrakion. I believe this one's Choice Banded with maximum speed, so I'm pretty damn fast because Terrakion is fast. Well, that was a good game, vb541. Definitely one of the longest matches I've had. Actually, I've had a lot of long, good matches here coming back into Gen 6, and this was definitely one of them. Very drawn out, very fun. So let me think of the day's question of the day. Continuing with some Gen 6 Pokemon questions, what is your favorite item in Pokemon currently, aside from Mega Stones, because we already kind of covered Mega Evolutions? So, what is your favorite non-Mega Stone hold item in Pokemon? Obviously, the leftovers are always very good. Life Orb is very offensive and fun. One item that I really kind of like using recently is the Air Balloon. I haven't actually used it in this battle, but it's definitely a game-changing item as well. If I had to, you know, answer honestly, it's probably still leftovers. It's just overall good. 1/16 of your healing every round. It really does help bulky Pokemon. But I also have still, you know, I have a place in my heart for Life Orb too, especially, you know, with what's that ability well, especially with either Magic Guard or Sheer Force, which negates the Life Orb recoil entirely. But yeah, leave a comment about that, your favorite Pokemon hold item, and I'll see you guys again next time. And don't forget, if you're interested in the Showdown tournament this Saturday, check out the video description for the link to the rules and other details. Take care, everyone. Bye.